state in Mali and Niger, I immediately jumped on the idea because I was disappointed that when the whole world decided to stand with Ibrahim Traore on April 30th, there was no manifestation in St. Vincent. The fact that our brothers and sisters in the Rastafarian faith, in the Rastafarian movement, could take it upon themselves to organize and say we are going to meet to show support and solidarity with Ibrahim Traore, the brothers in Niger, the brothers in Mali, and by extension the entire African continent. I was absolutely happy that such a manifestation is taken. And even though I had a trial today, I said even if I have to come here 1 minute after, I have to be here. We have to know that this is not the first time African leaders have taken a path that wanted to free the entire African continent. It's not the first time. African people have been struggling all through history to develop our continent for our people. In fact, when Kwame Nkrumah said that Africa for Africans at home and abroad, he was talking about us. And this is why it is so significant that what I said that the Organization of African Unity has finally decided after all of these decades to recognize Africans in the diaspora as the sixth department of the African This is critical, this is important, this is fundamental. History. But brothers and sisters, at this time, the effort is to ensure that we protect Ibrahim Traore and the other leaders in Niger. But if you notice, they have been, from the last count, there have been 20 assassination attempts on this young person. 20 assassination attempts. And when imperialism and neocolonialism put you in their crosshairs, we really have to make sure that we defend and put up a wall against the machinations of these racists, of these criminals. Because they are nothing but criminals. Remember, Kwame Nkrumah started, and by 1966, 1967, they overthrew him. And all the efforts of all the other African brothers in Libya, Gaddafi had tried, and in 2011 they moved against him and killed him. But there are other leaders. There's Patrice Lumumba in the Congo. There are people like Sékou Touré and others who have tried. People like Robert Mugabe, because they don't like Robert Mugabe, you know. And one of the reasons why they don't like Mugabe is because Mugabe said the land is ours. Same thing. And it's now we have to come back and see. Malcolm did say that if we are not careful, the mass media would make us love our enemies and hate our friends. Mass media. So we have a situation where the world has so changed now, and because of the developments in technology and so on, all of us can instantaneously see what's happening in Africa. We can see what's happening in Palestine. We can see what's happening in South Africa. And this has brought a new consciousness for people. And this is why the age of information, as my brother said. And this is why on April 30th, when the call was put out, everybody in different parts of the world saw this call, responded to this call. And that is why it was such an important international manifestation. What they tried to tell us is that Traore took power by the gun.
Is that so?
But we can't be fooled by that, brothers and sisters. We can't be fooled by that. Because even when leaders take power by the ballot, they throw them out. Right here in our Americans, Arbenz in '53 won an election, the Americans threw him out. More recently, Aristide won 2 elections and the Americans threw him out. So the issue is not how you come to power. The issue is if they like you, they keep you. The president of Cameroon, President Baye, has been in power since 1982. He lives in France. He doesn't live in Cameroon. He lives in France and comes home each time for an election. But he plays their game. in Cameroon, so they keep him there. The Joker in Uganda, Paul Kagame, he's in power now for 20-something years, but he's causing the destruction of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So he's playing their role in the Congo, so they keep him there. Yurumie Museveni has been in power since 1986.
1986?
Since 1986. But they don't tell us. They don't tell us he's bad for the continent. They keep him there. Why? Because he's playing their role. The Congo have to take the risk. You have to understand that, brothers and sisters. I remember Soleil had a calypso, a poem back in the day. He says, don't make them take your mind this time. No. We cannot allow that to happen. We have to make sure we educate ourselves, we continue to educate ourselves. So, we have to make sure that we bring our brothers and sisters. And this is why, where's the brother? This is why I was so happy. This is why I was so happy. I was so happy when I heard you and you present. Because
respect, my respect.
I remember when I got involved at about age 15 and 16. And I thought revolution was coming, you know. And now I'm almost 100. And revolution,
revolutionized, man. You're revolutionized.
Emancipation still coming. And this is why we need these kind of young brothers. And this is why we have to bring all of the young brothers and all of the young sisters and take time with them, be patient with them, talk with them, educate them, tell them, show them the way. With the hope that we will not put all of them in the basket, you know. We will get one by one, two by two. And this is why I write my columns every week. I talk on radio every week. Because I want to bring the consciousness to our people. Africa is on the move.
Africa is on the move.
Africa is on the move.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And when we say Africa is on the move, all of us. Because when they move against Ibrahim Traore, they move against us because they are trying to pull back the African Revolution. Africa don't need anything from anybody. All we need is to be left alone to develop our continent, to build our continent, to build our people. We have the youngest population in the world. The average age in Africa is 27 years old.
Yes.
27 average age.
Well, that's
we
good.
have a young population. We have an increasingly educated population.
That's good.
And we have an overwhelming amount of resources. We have gold, we have diamond,
everything,
we have
everything.
We have everything that will progress our continent. But we also have to understand
the greatest asset
that as we move to develop and defend Africa, we also have to move to develop where we are. And part of the process of developing where we are is to raise the consciousness to know who is speaking for us, who is speaking for Africa.
All right.
We have to pay close attention to that. And my brothers and sisters, I want to say to you all that this is an important manifestation. Our Rastafarian brothers and sisters have come forward yet again in victory, in triumph. And I want to say thank you so much. Victory!
Yes, you see it's the African spirit, you know, that we're walking with, you know. And once you walk with the African spirit, you could never fail. Nah. You could never fail. So give thanks, brother Bongo, brother Kanga. Aye. We're moving on. Swift like lightning bolt. And we're healing on. Bongo, I need to say a few words.
Yes, I the word, the song, and the power on both sides. Yeah, brothers and sisters, give thanks for this evening's event. You know, I am joyful within and I can feel positive energies around I and with coming from within I. And I and I as a people have to be very thankful to see our youths making this positive step forward. Locally, nationally, and I personally. Yes, I am so filled within my heart as a brethren who have traveled to Africa. I have traveled to Africa. I have lived in Africa. I have lived in Ghana for a period of time. And being able to interact with the people. And many times we in these parts of the world, we would hear African people, meet with African people from time to time who would say, well, okay then, you all are descendants of slaves and all of that. Yes, I have not disputing that. One say that from time to time. But I can assure you on the other hand, I as a person who visited Africa and who lived in Africa, from the time I entered Africa, I have never been disappointed within my people. I have always been that high sense of appreciation. Because when my people met I in Africa, when I went to Africa, no one told me welcome to Africa. No one told me welcome to Africa. Everyone I met told me welcome home. Welcome home. Here is your home. So we definitely have a reason to rally and give our support to our brother Ibrahim Traore. We have all right. And as a black person, as a person of African descent, we must come to know, to acknowledge that we are not from a poor nation of people.
Poverty is designed.
We are not from a poor, from any country that is poverty stricken. Africa is a continent, and as all the speakers said before, not short of anything for development of the people. Yes, So Africa is on the rise, and it is going forward. And there are endless opportunities for us from the diaspora. What we need to do is to capitalize on the opportunities that are there, and do not allow the Syrians, the Chinese, the Caucasian, the Europeans, and the Canadians to get in. They are getting out. Let's keep them out and let's go in. Let's keep them out and let's go in.
Africa for Africa.
And for us to go in, now we have to learn to unite among ourselves.
Yes. African unite.
Because even, for example, as we look at it right here in Yurumie, for us to go forward, there must be a change of the mindset of our people. Not just a change of the political parties, but a change of the people's mindset. All parties could always change. Till you don't change your mindset, the problem remains the same.
Fire.
So let us start getting within us. Because in Africa, just like any part of the world you go, you find opportunities, you find challenges. You find opportunities, you find challenges.
Yes, you laugh opposite. Laugh opposite.
So just like in the Caribbean here, we have our challenges, there are opportunities as well. But let's look at the bigger picture, because as Marcus Garvey told us, we cannot give up a continent for these little islands. Give thanks, my friends.
Yes, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. And without ceasing, and I go here and Brother Ishaka will say a few words.
Come forward, come forward.
okay. You know, it's okay. Rastafari. Rastafari.
Empress Mennonite.
Rastafari.
Selassie, Empress Mennonite.
Empress Mennonite. Alright. Queen Mother. Africa. Queen Mother. Ubuntu. Yes. Ubuntu. I pray on my elders who are older than I ask your permission to speak.
Forward.
Thank you. And I implore those who are younger than I, you know, to lend me a list.
Yes, I.
Life takes you quite often, you know, in circles, right? Until you're able to break out of that cycle and be above it, just watch it turn. And as my virgin Miley said, mindset. That elevates you to that level where you can overstand where you exist. Every one of us, and I think about it. I go on a plane, sit down, zoom. In less than 5 minutes, I'm over St. Vincent. I'm over St. Lucia, Grenadines. And I ask myself, what am I? Is that what I am? A little dot, is it over? And I have to change the mindset beyond the horizon that we see out there. We are part of a universal humanity that is all, every one of I and I is called a POW, a prisoner of war.
True.
Every black woman you see sit down there in the day with a tray, asking you $5 a bag of tomato. Every youth hustling a little ice bag, juice, are caught up within that cycle. Everyone. The only thing, Ralph, is nothing. Friday is nothing. The only government that controls you, the only that government is white supremacy.
Truth.
Definitely.
Only Trump could go and sit down behind a desk, sign something, and the world shakes. White supremacy.
One government.
America has always made the world believe it's
One
a
order.
land of, it gives democracy to the world. It gives justice to the world. One man it took, a joker from the pack. You know, they don't make packs of cards without jokers in them. The king never run his court without a jester. We must change the mindset. Change the mindset. And the people who need to sit down and listen are not here. Most people here are people who are schooled, who are grounded in life. We have to find a way, as Brother Jomo said, to reach them and teach them. White supremacy. When you tell your children what people and books to read, give them names like Dr. Ben Yakanan. Let them go and research. These are elders who just left us. And African people never hugged, never grabbed them, never spread the words that they were saying. We have one brother that just left us, Dr. Neely Fuller.
Yeah.
Tell your children to read his
Neely
work.
Fuller Jr.
Go on YouTube. there are some American youth who took his work
Make cartoon.
and make cartoons with them. So that the youths could understand better and feel to listen longer and watch longer.
Really entertaining too.
Good entertainment.
And it's
He
true.
just passed recently. The world didn't wink. It didn't stop. These are great African elders who did so much to teach us to change the mindset. African people must become coded.
Yes, sir.
Coded.
Facts.
I live in the white world longer than I live in my land of birth, where I can still go and could tell you 10 stories about a stone, about a hill. That big hill over the Kingston Park, where I grew up. I can tell you stories about this land that we explode as youth. That youths don't explode nothing anymore. These are the gadgets they use, and who are dying from them. Let me name some names, please. Because Traore, blessed, we have brothers, but our children must know about these names. Sylvanus Efanio Olympio, Togo, assassinated 1963. Thomas Sankara, where again? Same way, Burkina Faso, assassinated 1987.
Yeah.
Patrice Lumumba, Democratic Congo, 1961. Laurent Desire Kabila, Democratic Republic of Congo. Hear how many times that name coming up? What?
Congo.
Congo.
I don't in the Congo.
Congo.
Congo and everything, man.
I was dancing high
And diamond, please.
in the Congo. Voodoo, voodoo, voodoo. Dancing to the beat of an African drum. Then came a flea, a fly, a fiddle-dee-dum. It was the song of a European. With a ship ahoy, ship ahoy. How many on deck? 50 million enslaved and a few rednecks. Limbo, limbo, limbo. Now I'm dancing, still dancing low in a British ghetto. Voodoo, 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 still dancing to the beat of an African drum. Black people must change their mindset. A two-party system that we have lived under with your mothers, who knew my mother and my father.
Over and over.
And now we are them, gray. Most of us, next talk will be either 70 or 80. That will be the decade. And we're still walking up and down and just seeing the mess that black people in with each other. It's in the world talk, St. Vincent have the high. It's not St. Vincent, is African youth being destroyed everywhere so that the genocide, the internationally planned genocide, could take momentum. And if that don't work, we will come up with every kind of fusion, like the vaccine. Like what they did. Let me call name. Juvenal Habyarimana, Rwanda, 1994, assassinated. Anwar Sadat, Egypt, first president, assassinated, 1981. Cyprien Ntaryamira, Burundi, 1984. Samuel Doe, Liberia, 1990. Marion Ngubi, Democratic Republic of Congo, 1977, when the Seventh clash. Gaddafi, Libya. Everyone of you know when. I don't have to even expand on that. We know what caused that.
pick a man that look like them
Mama.
and let him send who he want. That he think he has a choice, that he must pick from us, and we will do the rest.
Trying the same thing again.
This is not the first, second, third, 20th times that they will try. They will keep trying. What is the world government system called?
White supremacy.
White supremacy.
White supremacy.
Racism.
We must not sit down here in St. Vincent and think, you know, when you move on the road, you know, when I drive on the road, I see ignorance, so much ignorance. You know, like a youth might think jumping on a tree wheel, something, whatever they call it, and revving gas in the atmosphere is cool. But he doesn't understand that he's a tool in the hands of white supremacy.
Racism.
These names, we must make our children go on the internet. They have phones. They have access to all these mechanics. I'm not a professional of these things, but I use them too. We must not forget South Africa and Malema.
South Africa.
Sometimes the news media will play one against the other.